السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان، فضل زمانا على زمان وإنسانا على إنسان ورسولا على رسول، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, below this video there will be a link to our website. Please sign up so you can take the quizzes and you can ask questions. Inshallah, we'll try our best to answer your questions. Lesson number 3. Make a dua. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. I have chosen Allah to be my Lord, and I have chosen Islam to be my religion, and I have chosen Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be my messenger. In this lesson, we are going to understand what is i'rab, declension, the types of ism in terms of i'rab. Alhamdulillah, with the tawfiq of Allah, we have started this course. In the first lesson, we have learned the types of word in Arabic. A word is called kalima. The plural is kalimat. There are 3 types of word in Arabic. Number 1, ism. Number 2, fi'l. Number 3, harf. So these are the 3 types of words we talk about in Arabic grammar. We learn about ism, we learn about fi'l, we learn about harf. Ism is the name of a person, name of a place, animal, things, everything that we see around us. Those are isms. Fi'l, it is an action that gives us the meaning of the past tense or present tense or the future tense. Harf comes with ism or comes with fi'l to give us more information, additional meaning. And then we said we're going to learn everything about ism first, so we understand how ism works. What are the signs of isms? How do we find out? How do we know the isms? We will be learning all these inshallah. So once we learn everything about ism, then we'll try to put these isms in a sentence. Then we have learned the properties of ism. So there are 4 properties of ism. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, an-naw'. Number 3, al-i'rab, an-naw', al-adad, and then at-ta'yin. So i'rab is the declension, the change of a vowel or a haraka on the last letter of the word. It is called the i'rab. Now there are three states in Arabic, three halat. Number one, halatul rafa. Number two, halatul nasb. Number three, halatul jar. So any ism that is in halatul jar, it is called marfu'un. Any ism that is in halatul nasb, it is called mansubun. And any ism that is in halatul jar is called majrurun. So number two property is the an-naw, which is the gender. In Arabic, every ism has a gender, either mudhakkar or muannas. And number three property of the ism is al-adad, is the number. A word will give a singular meaning, a word will give us a dual meaning, and the word will give us a plural meaning. And number four is the ta'yin, definiteness, the ma'rifa and the nakira. Ma'rifa is the definite noun. So all proper nouns will come under ma'rifa. We'll be learning what are the ism that comes under ma'rifa and what are the ism that comes under nakira, indefinite. And then we said we're going to learn these four properties one by one in more details. So today's lesson we'll be learning about i'rab. Everything we have to know about i'rab, inshallah, we'll be learning today's lesson. What is i'rab? There are words in Arabic which causes to change the vowels on the last letter of an ism. There are words in Arabic, so mainly is the huruf, okay? Mainly is the huruf which causes to change the vowels on the last letter of an ism. The change on the last letter of an ism can be a change of a haraka. Sometimes we will see fatha on the last letter. Sometimes we will see a dhamma. Sometimes we will see a kasra. Or the change could be a harf, a letter from the Arabic alphabet. Okay, from the Arabic alphabet. Not all of them, only mainly three. Okay, three letters. We will learn all those three letters. So this change is called i'rab. The case of a noun, declension. Declension means changes. Okay, the last letter changes. Sometimes it gets a fatha, sometimes a dhamma, sometimes a kasra, sometimes the one of the three letters. Okay, so keep this in mind. The change of an ism on the last letter can be with a haraka and can be with a harf. This change is called i'rab, the case of a noun, declension. I'rab. The previous lesson we have learned the state. So in Arabic there are three states a noun can be in, and they are called halatul rafa. So now we're going to learn what are the vowels we see on the last letter if the ism is in halatul rafa or if the ism is marfu. In halatul rafa, the last letter of an ism will have either dhammatain, alif, this is the letter we're talking about, or waw. So if we see any of these three, then we can say this word ism is in halatul rafa, or the ism is marfu'. So what do we see in halatul rafa? Dhammatain, alif, or waw. any of the three. Number two, Halatul Nasb. In Halatul Nasb, the last letter of an ism will have either Fathatayn, Kasratayn, Alif, or Ya. So some words will have Fathatayn. There's only one type of ism that will have Kasratayn. Normally in Halatul Nasab, there is no Kasratayn, but there's one type of ism. Just remember, there's only one type of ism in Halatul Nasab will have Kasratayn, then Alif or Ya. Halatul Jar. In Halatul Jar, the ism is called Majroor. In Halatul Jar, the last letter of an ism will have either Kasratayn, Fatha, one Fatha, or Ya. Or Ya. Now, if you look at number two, Halatul Nasb, we have Ya as well. Let me just put the laser up. We have also Ya. In Halatul Jar, we also have Ya. How would we know that in Halatul Nasb or the ism is in Halatul Jar? Now the answer is, for sentence, the structure will tell us which halat it is. That is nothing to worry about, no concern about that. So we will, again, there is alif in halatul rafa, there is also alif in halatul nasb. How would we know this alif is in halatul rafa or this alif is in halatul nasb? Again, structure will tell us it is either in halatul rafa, the ism is marfu, or the ism is mansub. Arab case. In Arabic, there are three cases of an ism. So let's go through this again. If an ism is in the halatul rafa, it is called marfu. Now, can you tell me on the chat that what are the haraka do we see on if the word is marfu? What haraka do we see? The ism if is marfu. And what the harf or letter we will see if the ism is marfu. Yes, if it is a haraka, we will see dhammatayn. If it's a letter, we'll see either alif or waw. What about if the ism is mansub? What haraka we will see? Haraka, the vowels. What vowels will be on the last letter of ism if the ism is mansub? Yes, fathatayn or kasratayn. Again, the kasratayn is only one type of ism. We'll have kasratayn. What about the harf? What letter do we see if the ism is in mansub or is mansub? Okay, yes, alif or ya. Alif or ya. Number 3, if an ism is in halatul jar, it is called majroor. So when the ism is majroor, what are the haraka do we see? What haraka the ism will have on the last letter if the ism is majroor? Yes, mainly kasratain. Okay, mainly kasratain. There, some type of words will have a fatha. Okay, some types of words will have a fatha, and the harf is only ya. If the ism is majroor, the harf, the letter will see only ya. Okay, everyone understood? Because Arab is the main. Once we understand Arab, I can say you've learned 25% of Arabic grammar. Yes, 25% of our grammar is all about Arab. Because the Arab will tell us the function, the role of the ism in the sentence. The Arab will tell us, is it a subject we're talking about? The Arab will tell us, is it information we are giving about the subject? The Arab will tell us, is the ism the doer of the action? If the Arab will tell us if the ism is an object of the action, of the fail, of the verb. The Arab is very important. So you should try your best to understand the Arab first. If there is anything lacking in me that I'm not able to explain the Arab properly, I'm sure there'll be other resources you can go and understand Arab. But Alhamdulillah, inshallah, I will assume and hope that you understand the concept of Arab through me, inshallah. What is Arab? Examples. So everything that you have learned, let's put in practice and let's see if we can find the Arab. Arab with a haraka. So we will look the Arab wal haraka, and then we will say if the ism is marfu, or the ism is mansub, or the ism is majroor. Again, these are the Quranic examples. So throughout my course, I will be using Quranic examples. Okay. In the beginning, the normal examples, we get the concept, and then I'll bring the Quranic example. So at the same time, we know what's going on, and at the same time, we can also learn the translation. But today, obvious, I'm not going to do much of the translation. Just move on. Over here, we can see the red colored isms. For example, al-kitabu. This al-kitabu has dhamma. Now, we did learn a dhammatain, double dhammas. So for now, just make it one. Either double dhamma or single dhamma is the same. Doesn't matter, it's the same. So we'll be learning when to write double dhammas, dhammatain, when to write one dhamma. When to write fathatain, when to write a fatha. When we see or write kasratain or kasra. For at the moment, just make it one. Kasratain or kasra is the same thing. Dhammatain or dhamma is the same thing for now. And fathatain and a fatha is the same thing, okay? As long as we see one of the two. So here, al-kitabu. So if I read the ayah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So here al-kitabu. So we can see the word, the ism al-kitab, the last letter is a capital letter in Arabic, so it is a word. And we see a dhamma. Okay. So this dhamma is telling us this al-kitab is in marfu' wa halatul rafa. This al-kitab is marfu'. Okay. Next line, next ayah. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يتلونه حق تلاوته أولئك يؤمنون به. So in this al-kitab is the same word, same noun, same ism as the top ism or the ism above. But this time it has a fatha. Again, fathatain, fatha is the same thing for now. Al-kitaba. Now what can we say? What is the halat of this ism? This ism is in, what do we say? Al-kitaba. The halat is halatul nasb. Okay, the state is halatul nasb because of the fatha. What about the case? What about if the ism is in halatul nasb? What do we call that? Yeah, well done. Is mansub, because we've just learned in halatul nasb the ism either can be fathatain or kasratain or alif or ya. Okay, number 3. من بعد ما بيناه للناس في الكتاب. Over here we have a kasra now. Al-kitabi. So the halat is halatul jar, because the halatul jar is kasra. So what the ism will be called? Al-kitabi is called in terms of i'rab yes, is majroor. So here we are learning the examples of i'rab with a haraka, with a vowel. Next, إذا جاءك المؤمنات يبايعنك على ألا يشركن بالله شيئا. So over here we have the word ism al-mu'minatu. What is the halat? What is the halat? Sorry. Al-mu'minatu, the position of this al-mu'minat. What is the position? What is the state of this ism al-mu'minatu? Yes, it's halatul rafa. That is the state this ism is in. How do you know the state? The dhamma is telling us. The dhamma on the last is telling us it is the halatul rafa. And what about the ism called? If the ism is in halatul rafa. So this ism, yes, well done. This ism is called marfu'. Next one. وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. What is the state? Halat. Yes, it is halatul jar. Okay, mainly is halatul jar, or sometimes it can be halatul nasb. Remember we said in halatul nasb fat kasratain as well. Okay? So kasratain. So there's only one type of ism. The ism has a kasra. It can be in halatul nazb or it can be in halatul jar. Again, how would we know? Inshallah, the sentence will tell us. The structure will let us know or tell us what is the ism is mansub or majroor. So let's assume this is halatul jar. Al-mu'minat is halatul jar. What is the ism called now? If the ism is in halatul jar, what is the ism called? Yes, it is majroor. It is majroor. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, title is what is Arab? Examples. Arab with a harf. Okay, we've learned alif will show us in halatul rafa. Waw will also show us in halatul rafa. And if the ism has again alif, sometimes it shows in halatul nasb. And ya also in halatun nasb. Yeah. So it is only ya that is in halatul jar. Okay, so if you keep this order in your mind, in halatul rafa, alif waw. In halatul nasb, alif ya. In halatul jar, only ya. That's it. So when we see after the last letter of an ism, we see alif or we see waw, then it will be in halatul rafa. The word will be marfu'. And if we see alif or ya, the ism will be mansub. And if we see only ya, that ism will be in halatul jar, majroor. Again, how would we know? Because in halatul nasab there is a ya. In halatul jar there is a ya. Again, the structure will tell us. Not to worry, we will know automatically. So let's see some of the examples. قال رجلان من الذين يخافون أنعم الله عليهم ادخلوا عليهم الباب. So over here we see the red colored isms. The singular is rajulun. Rajulun. The lam is the last letter, right? Rajulun. So after the last letter, what do we see? We see the alif. So this alif is the Arab. This alif will tell us this ism is in halatul rafa. It is marfu'. Okay. What about the noon with the kasra? What is noon kasra doing here? What is noon kasra is telling us? All right. Keep this in mind. This will tell us something else. Okay, we'll do that later. It will give us the dual meaning. Okay, the noon kasra gives us the dual meaning. But the Arab of this ism is alif. When we learn our vocabulary and we know the singular ism rajulun, after singular ism rajulun, we see the alif. Then we will know it is in halatul rafa. Next, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُونَا رَجُلَيْنِ. Again, we know rajulun is the singular. Then we see after the lam, singular ism after the lam, there is a ya. This ya is telling us either it can be mansub or it can be majroor. Again, the structure will tell us it is mansub or majroor. In this case, in this ayah, it says mansub. this ayah فإن لم يكونا رجلين فرجل وامرأتان. Again, look at the word imra'atani. If we know the singular of this, which is imra'atun, a woman, imra'atun. So after the last letter, what do we see? Alif. So can everyone tell me what is the case of this ism, imra'atani? What is the case? Not state, the case. Here, imra'atani. Yes. Yeah, Rafa is the state. Okay, Rafa is the state. I want the case. Yes, it is marfu, because the alif is there. Alif is telling us is marfu. Let's move on. Next one. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون. This is the word we're looking at. The ism. والمؤمنون. If you know the singular of this ism is mu'minun. Singular is mu'minun. The nun is the last letter, okay, of a singular. What do we see after this? Wow. What is it telling us? Wow is telling us this ism is in halatul rafa. The wow shows the halat. And the ism is called marfu. Okay, the wow is telling us the ism is marfu. So all we need to know, look at the singular ism first. Okay? To look for Arab with haraka, we'll look at the singular ism first. After singular ism, we have alif, be marfu. We have waw, will be marfu. So after a singular ism, you see ya can be mansub, or it can be majroor. Okay? So let's look at the ism of example of both mansub and majroor. Allahu waliyul mu'minina. What is the last letter again? Look at the singular. Mu'minun is the last letter. Nun is the last letter. After the last letter, there is the ya there. This ism is telling us either it is mansub or either it is majroor, because the ya is there. So in this case, Allahu waliyul mu'minina, it is majroor. How do I know? Inshallah, one day you will know it is majroor. Next. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Okay. Who can tell me, or everyone tell me, the halat of this ism, the state of this ism? What is it telling us, and how do we know the state, the position, the halat, the slot? What is the slot in terms of Arab? Not the ism, but the slot. Because here, Qul, we have one slot. Yeah, another slot. Yuha, another slot. The kafiruna, this is another slot. All these slots makes a sentence. I on the this slot. Okay, everyone, that's fine. Maybe we're just mixing up with state and case. Yeah? Those of you said halatul rafa, you are correct. This is the state halatul rafa, because the waw is telling us it is state of rafa. But the ism is, the case is marfu. مرفوع. That's fine, that's okay. Either you say حالة رفع or مرفوع for now. Because we are beginners, okay, I'll accept that. But later on, when I say حالة, you have to say the حالة. حالة الرفع, حالة النصب, حالة الجر. But when I say the case, you have to say مرفوع, منصوب, مجرور. Okay, well done everyone. Very good. Let's move on. The types of ism in terms of i'rab. So in terms of i'rab, we have two types of isms. Again, this is very important. Try to understand. If not, watch the video again. If not, watch the video again. Keep watching until you get it. If you don't get it still, ask us either on our group or you can email me direct. Inshallah, we'll try to make you explain in the best way. There are two types of ism in terms of i'rab. Number one is called mu'rabun. Mu'rabun. It means declinable, changeable. Okay? The last letter changes. Mu'rabun. Number two over here, mabniyun. Non-declinable. The last letter doesn't change. The last letter of the haraka doesn't change. Last letter, the harf doesn't change. The last letter of mabni will remain the same all three cases. If it's marfu, it will be the same. Mansub will be exactly same what we had in marfu. If we had dhamma in marfu, mansub will be dhamma as well. If we have mansub, fatha, if we have a word, if we have with a mansub, with a nasab on it, with the fatha on it, it will be the same in marfu case, in mansub case, in majroor case. It will be showing fatha. Now, to make things easy for us, all huruf are mabni. Okay, all huruf are mabni. It will not change. It will remain the same. All huruf are mabni. But there's other isms. Those will be in mabni as well. We'll learn them slowly. But for now, to make it easy, remember all huruf are mabni. So two types of isms in terms of i'rab. Number one, mu'rab. Number two, mabni. Now, mu'rab is again two types. There are two types of mu'rabun. Number one is called munsarifun, fully declinable. In all three cases, it changes. In marfu, it will show a dhamma or alif or waw. If it's mansub, it will show fatha or kasra or alif or ya. In a majroor case, it will show a kasra or very little fatha, and letter is ya. So this is munsarifun, fully declinable. So all the examples we had so far, they are mu'rab, because it changes, and munsarif, changes in all three cases. The example we have al-kitab. The kitab is mu'rab, munsarif. Number two, ghayru munsarifin, partially declinable. It declines partially, not fully, not like munsarif. So, ghayru munsarifin, ism will have only two haraka. It will have a dhamma or a fatha. غير منصرف اسم will not have kasra. That's why it's called partially declinable. It declines in marfu case. It declines in mansub case. Okay. It does not decline in majroor case. So the ghair munsarif isms, we will see only dhamma on it or fatha on it. And munsarif isms will have all three harakat. Dhamma in marfu case, fatha in mansub case, and kasra in majroor case. Okay, so all we need to remember is mu'arab and mabni. Mu'arab is declinable, it changes. Mabni does not change. Mu'arab is of two types, munsarif, ghair munsarif. If you don't remember the word munsarif, doesn't matter, okay. As long as you remember mu'arab, you know it changes all three. But we must remember ghair munsarif. So we'll be doing ghair munsarif in the next lesson. Ghayru munsarifin. Very interesting. Ghayru munsarifin. It has only two haraka. Dhamma in marfu case, fatha in mansub case, and also fatha in majroor case. Because it doesn't have a kasra. Right, mu'arab and mabni. Munsarif and ghayru munsarif. Okay, as I said, go through this video again if you did not understand. Let's move on. Types of ism in terms of i'rab. All ism in Arabic, either it is mu'rab or mabni, will have one of the three cases. Okay? So mu'rab ism can go in marfu case, or mansub case, or majroor case. Even the mabni ism also can go into marfu or mansub or majroor. Okay? So mu'rab isms will have one of the three halat. It can be halatul rafa, halatul nasb, or halatul jar. Mabni isms also can have three halat, three states. Mabni ism can be in halatul rafa. Mabni ism also can be in halatul nasb. Mabni ism also can be in halatul jar. Those isms will be calling, is in halatul rafa, will be calling them marfu. The halat of the ism is halatul nasb, we call them mansub. And if the halat of ism is halatul jar, we call them majroor. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. End of lesson 3. Again, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability and the tawfiq and the zeal to come to these lessons, and give us a little time for the sake of Allah to understand Arabic grammar, so to learn Arabic grammar so we can understand the Quran. May Allah give us tawfiq. Inshallah, we will see you in the next lesson. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.